broken wrist, busted collarbone, that doesn't mean your mountain bike fitness has to fall apart. In this video, I'll show you how you can train around your injury so you can stay strong, stay fit, and get back to riding as soon as possible. Mountain biking can be quite a dangerous sport, and I get it. It's part of the appeal. It's part of why we all love it and find it so exciting. But sometimes it catches up with us and injuries do happen, especially for the upper body, wrists and collarbones, okay? And this video is all about what to do if you've got a broken wrist, broken collarbone, or other upper body injury that means that you can't mountain bike, you can't cycle, and you can't train as you would. Before we get into the 5 tips, number 1, the overarching thing is your mindset. And that is to focus on what you can do and not on what you can't. It's really easy to get bummed out when you're injured and just to be a bit sad and feel sorry for yourself. And, you know, especially when you're missing out on riding and the weather's great. But actually, you just got to accept it. You can be sad for a day. We'll let you do that. But then you've got to move on. Let's focus on the things you can do, some of which I'm going to give you today. So have that in your mind for this whole video. Let's get into training tip number 1. Tip number 1 is train the other side. So let's say right collarbone out of action. Guess what? Let's train the other arm. Let's train the other shoulder and keep that strong. Now, when I suggest this to people, they often worry about 2 things. Well, they say, well, surely that's going to get stronger and that's going to be weaker and I'm going to be really imbalanced. And I say 2 things to that. Number 1, isn't it better to have at least one strong arm rather than 2 weak ones? So if this is healing for 6 weeks and neither do any, then they're both weaker afterwards. So surely it's better to have one strong arm. But secondly, this is super interesting, is that doing work on the uninjured, on the healthy side, is going to help to preserve muscle mass and strength in the injured side when it's unable to train. So when I'm doing exercises with an uninjured arm, I'm helping to preserve the muscle, stop it from wasting away, stop me losing strength, which means that when it's healed, I'm going to be back up to strength and fitness even quicker. This is not medical advice. This is training advice to train around an injury. You need to make sure you get a diagnosis from a doctor, physiotherapist, or other sports therapist and have a treatment plan in place to rehab and repair the injured area and get you back to riding. Despite it being an upper body injury, it can actually be really hard to do work on your lower body, on your legs, because actually, how do I hold a weight? I can't do a goblet squat. I can't RDL, I can't hold a barbell. So this is where we need to use other things like machines, okay, and also your body weight. One of the first places I go when someone's got an upper body injury and we want to keep their legs strong or even get them stronger is the leg press, if you're lucky enough to have one at the gym. Now look, at which point someone always goes, some like CrossFit type, always goes, leg press is not functional training, it's not real life. They can absolutely just bore off, okay? The function we're looking for is strong legs. And if you can press a heavy weight on this, then guess what? Your legs get stronger, okay? So ignore those people. You're out of action with a collarbone or wrist or whatever. Let's get strong legs. Let's use the leg press. So, quick note, they're all a little bit different, okay? If in doubt, get some instruction from a fitness instructor or trainer at the gym to show you how to use yours properly. Just like on a squat or something, try and do a full range of motion. And there's different ways of using it. We can go heavy for low reps, just like a squat or a deadlift, or we can go for higher reps to build some muscle, okay, with a lighter weight, or we can even work endurance. Now, what we can also do is single leg work. Oh, maybe it is functional, who knows? So, just slightly adjust your position, one leg down. And guess what? We're using the leg press, a machine, to keep strong or even get stronger while your upper body is out of action. If you're serious about staying fit for riding, whether you're injured or not, then you need to join my weekly email, MTB Momentum. Every week I send it out to 7,000 mountain bikers from around the world, and it's packed full of training tips, advice, content, workouts, ideas, just to help you be a better rider so you can ride further, ride faster, and have more fun on your bike. I'll put a link in the description below so you can sign up today. So another option for lower body training, especially if you don't have access to a leg press or something, is we can use a dipping belt and do effectively a belt squat, okay? So you're gonna wanna have your feet raised up, so you've got a greater range of motion, and you're probably gonna want them a little wider, just so the chain or whatever you've got clears. And then basically nice and tight, because it can force you to arch your back. I'm gonna get nice and deep in the squat and up, okay? And then obviously you can make the chain shorter as well to get a greater range of motion. And this way we can get a great deal of work on the hips and legs, and also the core and back, without straining your collarbone, your shoulder, elbow, or whatever is injured. Tip 3 is a short one, and it's more of a principle really. It's this idea that we're actually going to work around the injury, not work through the injury. And let me explain. So as the injury is healing, maybe you're nearly there, but it's still painful. Your collarbone still hurts, or your wrist, or whatever it is. We can work around it by doing the things I've talked about today in this video, doing other exercises, working other body parts, and working in ranges of motion that are not painful. Working through it is just that grit your teeth, like old school, I'm just gonna grind through this. If it's not hurting, it's not doing any good sort of thing. That is when you're working through it, and that is generally not gonna be productive. If you're watching this because you've had an injury after a big crash, then when you get back on the bike, one of the things you need to rebuild is your confidence as well as your body. If that is the case, then I've got a video that's going to help you. It's called How to Rebuild Your Confidence, and it does exactly what it says on the tin. I'll put a link to it in the description below. So far, we've really been talking about strength, but actually, we want to keep that engine going as well. We want to keep that cardiovascular fitness up. And so, you're not going to like it, but it's kind of obvious. We need to get on that spin bike, okay? Turbo trainer, spin bike, keep the legs moving, do some aerobic work, do some intensity work. The other thing you may be able to do if it's comfortable is alternative things like, dare I say it, running or even walking. You know, if you've got a broken wrist or something, then you could go for some brisk walking or some running, or you could put a pack on and go rucking, as the Americans call it, okay? And just go and walk around some hills with a heavy backpack. And that's a great way to keep your legs strong and keep your cardiovascular fitness. Tip 5, the cable machine is your friend. And if you don't have access to cables, you can do a lot of this stuff with resistance bands at home or in the garage. So let's just say here, it's less good if you've got a collarbone issue, but I've got a broken wrist maybe, or elbow, or something like that, and I'm in some sort of cast or support. What I should have also said here is it's great if you've got a broken hand or finger and you can't grip things. So bear that in mind for the rest of this part of the video. Cheers. What we can do is you can use one of these attachments here, and now the load here is on my forearm. Obviously it depends on where you are in healing, pain, get advice from your physio, but I've used this sort of thing a lot of times as people progress through their healing process. So again, we can just pull in all sorts of different directions. I can pull it across my body. We can pull here. So I'm doing pulling exercises. I could do like a shoulder raise, okay? Just use your imagination to get this side working. You're not going to be able to do it right at the start because it may not be stable or it may be too uncomfortable, but as you progress through the healing process, you may be able to introduce a cable machine, okay, in different positions, different angles, just to keep some muscle and keep some strength in the injured side. Thanks so much for watching. I really hope this video helps you in your journey back to riding. On that note, if you are going through a journey back from injury, let me know how it's going in the comments. I'd love to hear from you, and I'll reply to everyone.